All right, man. Detroit Lions end up beating the Saints. They jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. Then the freight train stopped. Frank Ragnow went down. Bruce Irvin got a good sack. Then he got a bad penalty that knocked Derek Carr out the game. I think Derek Carr was having one of his better games kind of this season. And it just don't seem like the Lions got a lot of momentum going right now. This was a game they should have ran away with, and they didn't. I mean, defensively there were some errors. Jerry Jacobs, letting Chris Olave score that touchdown. He letting Jerry, then you have Brian Branch who took a interception, a pick six potentially away from Jerry Jacobs. It's just not going in their favor right now. They need a jolt. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Bruce Irvin is the jolt they really need right now, to be honest, man. They really need and they won the turnover battle today. And Dan Campbell was saying how they needed to win the turnover battle and that'll fix their woes, and it didn't. I just see a lot wrong right now. Some of it's fixable. I mean, you'll get James Houston back. Romeo got a sack today. It was a cover sack. You'll get Gardner Johnson back. I think that's going to help the most. But I just think they need to figure some things out. And Jared Goff is the biggest problem right now. He really threw a pick, and the guy dropped it early in the game. He is just inaccurate. Even on that throw to Josh Reynolds to end the game, that was an inaccurate throw. Great play, picking his feet up. It's just when you make him move his feet, he inaccurate. Then to the out route where the guy tipped it away from St. Brown, he threw it behind St. Brown. You supposed to throw that to the boundary. He threw it to the inside. Had he threw that ball outside to St. Brown, he probably still get a few more yards. So it's really the biggest problem outside the defense is the inaccuracy of Jared Goff. People say, well, the offensive line hurt. That made no sense. Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl with one of the worst offensive lines in the Super Bowl era history. So when you start talking about, what he don't got, you want $40+ million, you got to be able to make some things work. But check out Detroit Lions post-game reaction playlist. Check out Detroit Lions talk playlist, okay? So that's kind of what you kind of, gotta look at, man. And right now, his accuracy is an issue. I mean, the ball is flailing out of his hands, is he's throwing ducks left and right, and it's not accurate. And the difference is, it's now starting to affect the performance of St. Brown. Sam Laporta, it don't matter. Sam Laporta just got a natural connection. And right now, some of the balls he's throwing is affecting, Sam Laporta. I think that's one of the reasons why Jameson Williams can't get on track. To that catch the ice the game, Josh Reynolds, he ain't been doing nothing. So it's the inaccuracy of Jared Goff is what's one of the biggest problems. And you sit here, and one of the things you look at is this too. I'm gonna talk about the offense, then I'll get into the defense, and I'll get into the game after I make this point real quick. This is my thing about it. Talking about riding a hot hand, whatever the game plan says, you start off with that. But after that, you got to go with the hot hand. And this is my problem. You got a mother effer who had 18 carries for 56 yards, and you had a guy who had 8 carries for 60 yards. Why are we giving the guy who had 18 opportunities to rush the ball, and only got 56 yards, and the guy had 8 for 6? Why he ain't getting the ball? That's my problem. Like, they come in with a game plan and they don't make adjustments. Get a ball to fucking Jahmyr Gibbs. Excuse my language. Give it to Gibbs. Montgomery clearly didn't have it working today. Get a ball to Gibbs. Then, Laporta got it cooking because they probably rolling coverage to St. Brown. All right, let's find a way to get the ball to Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds. All right, since they giving you Sam Laporta, they're probably taking away St. Brown. Somebody else got to step up on the outside. Somebody else has to step up on the outside of this defense, on this offense. But nonetheless, they jumped out to the 21-0 lead. Well, Montgomery, Laporta, Amon-Ra, St. Brown all scored touchdowns. The Saints defense made an adjustment in where the Lions offensive coordinator didn't. And he kind of been slipping, Ben Johnson the last couple games, but this to me is due to, if everything ain't perfect across that offensive line for Jared Goff, he just ain't shit. Excuse my language. Then once the Saints made an adjustment, the Lions never made another adjustment. And what the adjustment should have been, they should have been riding the coattail of of Jahmyr Gibbs. For whatever reason, they chose to keep going with David Montgomery. That was just they weapon of choice. And that was another bad situation. The kid got 8 touches in Jahmyr Gibbs out the backfield. 8 touches out the backfield, right? He got one reception and 2 targets. So he was targeted altogether, he was targeted 2 times, 1 reception, 8 touches out the backfield. And that's the type of things you talk about. That's coaching. And once again, why not give it to the high hand? He had the high hand. And I keep telling y'all, they probably need to get a majority of the carries to Jahmyr Gibbs because he gets stronger as the game go on. So does David Montgomery, but Montgomery doesn't give you the explosive plays. And when you got a quarterback that's struggling with turnovers and struggling with accuracy, you need chunk plays. And you need them fast. And Jahmyr Gibbs give you those chunk plays. It don't seem like they trying to find a way to get Jameson Williams the football. Just offensively, they out of whack right now. And a lot of it started with Jared Goff, but then a lot of it go to blame to Ben Johnson. Like, okay, when are we gonna find a way to get the ball to Josh Reynolds, to Jameson Williams? When are we gonna, step up and get a true number 2 receiver? If it's Donovan Peoples-Jones or whoever it is, when are they gonna step up and find a way to get these guys to football? Tell me that. When is they gonna step up and get these guys to football? Then you start going 3 and out, and then the defense lose momentum because the offense loses momentum. This team goes by the beat of the offense's drum. And then defensively, they stopping to run good for most of the game. But then guess what? The offense start going, punting the ball. Then they start, ramming it in their paws with Taysom Hill. Then, you got to respect that. And then Alvin Kamara start getting off. And then they start getting some throws down the field because, Jerry Jacobs is just in la-la land. And I was telling people they need to go get another corner. And then what they were saying, well, we got Jerry Jacobs. And okay. Yeah, right. And that's an issue right now. That defense is taking too many blows. When the offense is not picking up, it's not putting drives together, the defense is getting wore out. So then the pass defense is starting to fold. Then the run defense is starting to fold. You know what I'm saying? So they was getting out coached. Aaron Glenn get out coached every week. He's yet to make an adjustment. You can say what you want to say about the personnel on the other side of that football, but when are you gonna make an adjustment? He hasn't. And when they play zone, they gave up a touchdown to Jimmy Graham. It's pathetic. He don't know what he's doing, bro. He's a salmon out of water. You had one guy to stop in their receiving core, and that was Chris Olave. You couldn't even fucking do that. The Rashid guy was hurt. Michael Thomas guy was hurt. You had one guy to stop in that offensive front, and you couldn't stop Chris Olave. One guy. That's one guy you had to stop. He had 119 yards. They play in this zone, and A.T. Perry caught his one catch for 30 yards. You know what I'm saying? Alvin Kamara gonna get his, but you had one guy to stop, and you couldn't stop him. They trying to play zone, and they just not a good zone football team. They're a man-to-man bump and run football team. He need to embrace it. Man-to-man with zone coverage, with some zone combination coverage. That's just what they are. And Aaron Glenn just sucks as a defensive coordinator right now. He sucks. Now, they didn't stop the run pretty well. That's one thing they have shored up. They They're trying to get some more pressure out there. They're wearing out Aiden Hutchinson, but they coverage on the back end, they just suck playing zone. They suck. You playing zone, you got to get pressure. Or the receivers gonna find a soft spot in the zone, no matter what level they are, novice, expert, somewhere in the middle. They're gonna find a soft spot in the zone. So they just need to stick to playing man to man. Brian Branch play has dropped off, and they're gonna hit the rookie wall. You lose Frank Ragnow with a knee injury, but for the most part, it's the offense. Defense got a turnover. Jared Goff is just inaccurate. And I tell you the 3 or 4 biggest things with the offense: Jared Goff being inaccurate, them not getting the ball to them not finding another number two receiver and finding a way to get them the ball. If it's Josh Reynolds, if it's Jameson Williams, Donovan Peoples-Jones, somebody has to step up and be the number 2 receiver. You're not going to go as far as St. Brown, Laporta, the run game, and then whoever else, Cleve Raymond play here. No, they need to develop a number 2 receiver. You got Jameson Williams out there. There's no reason why he should have only a few targets. He had 1 fucking target in the passing game. Josh Reynolds had 3 targets in the passing game. Come on. Donovan Peoples-Jones had 1 target. Come on, let's find a way to get the ball to it. Let's find a way to develop a true number 2 receiver. A true number 2. And then you're going to have injuries across the offensive line once again. Frank Ragnow is a China doll. He always getting hurt. And defensively, you look at some of the problems. A lot of them just stem because they feed off the offense. A lot of them problems stem because they feed off the offense. That's what it is. A lot of their problems they feeding off the offense. The offense doing good, they getting sacks, they getting picks. When the offensive momentum drop, they're not getting those things. But zone coverage is a problem. They don't need to play so much zone until they figure out how to play zone, because it does not look appealing. It's terrible. And most certainly it's the back end that's terrible at playing the zone. I don't know if it's communication. I don't know if it's just not understanding concepts and homework assignments. They're terrible, but this wasn't a game to be proud of. They should go ahead and treat this game like a loss. I think Denver ended up losing to Houston. I'm not sure. I'm about to double check right now. But zone coverage need to be outlawed for right now. Zone coverage need to be outlawed. It need to be outlawed. Yeah, Houston ended up winning. It need to be outlawed. Aaron Glenn cannot coach zone coverage. He sucks at it. He cannot coach zone coverage. He's no good at it. So, hey, so that need to stop. They need to play man-to-man coverage, or they need to play a combination coverage. But the biggest problem is the lack of accuracy by Jared Goff, the lack of giving Jahmyr Gibbs opportunities. And number 3, offensively, their biggest thing is not developing a number 2 receiving option. They going through St. Brown, Laporta, the run game. No, somebody need to step up and be the number 2 receiving option. And if that's J-Mo, if it's Reynolds, if it's Raymond, if it's Donovan Peoples-Jones, they need to develop a true number 2 option. Defensively, that's all I got to say. They need to outlaw zone coverage. They shouldn't play no more than 20% zone coverage. They're a man-to-man football team with the mix of combination coverage, with the mix of some zone with man-to-man concepts. That's the safeties and the linebacker playing zone with them playing man-to-man on the outside. Then that's what it needs to be. But hey, check out Detroit Lions post-game reaction playlist. They win 33-28. It was a little bit too close for comfort. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Everything in the link tree. You can check out my new channel, Free Game 89, FR33 Game 89, and my main channel, Goodfella TV. All that's in the link tree in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.